Hello, everybody. Welcome back. And so today I want to talk to you a little bit about what I do through social media. And I think it's really important for me to backtrack for a second and let you know that I didn't start off this business with any understanding of social media. I didn't understand marketing. My background was in teaching, so this was completely new and uncomfortable for me. Now, most people use Facebook just to get status updates from their friends. They like to read funny things, and they don't really use it in terms of, well, how can I grow a business? So as a coach, when you look at Facebook, you almost shift the way you're looking at what you're putting out there and the type of things that you're reading. So when I started my business, I ran primarily through my personal page. I had approximately 100 friends on there. I knew that I had to expand my market. I knew that I had to really reach more people. So that started simply by finding the people that I already knew. This was people that I had worked with while I worked in Maryland. This was people that I had gone to high school with or college with. And so I started easily with extending my market that way. And my job also became to share content with people that I found interesting, that I enjoyed, that I felt someone would benefit from. So whether that was sharing what I was doing by being a product of the product with Beachbody, or sharing things that I enjoyed, whether it was a recipe, a blog post that I had written, something funny that I had seen on Pinterest, I wanted to make sure that people were, number one, getting a feel for who I was, and number two, they became this sort of comeback audience almost. And that's exactly what I teach my coaches to do as well. I teach them how to really gain traction on social media. Social media is just really one way that you can run your business. There are other coaches in our organization who run fitness classes, who are working towards becoming master trainers. But for me personally, I've always been a little bit more comfortable doing this really behind the scenes through social media. So I'm just going to walk you through my Facebook page a little bit to show you how that works. And I'm going to do what's called a screen share. And so all I'm doing is I am showing you my like page. And so my like page, my business page, has grown over time. This is one of those things where you create an audience that will follow you because you're giving them content that they connect with. A like page allows you to really target your audience. It allows you to gain traction and relate to people. It also allows you to run insights as to what's doing really well. You can run ads on here as well. So when coaches start, I often suggest it, although it's not required. You have the opportunity to run Instagram. People run Twitter. People are bloggers. Some people are really good with Pinterest. And I don't tell everyone to focus on everything, but instead to focus on one, focus on what they're on the most, focus on what they really enjoy and what comes natural to them. For me, it was Facebook, because I was on Facebook. I was scrolling anyway. And so I thought, well, if you can create an income by scrolling, why not? Why not do a little bit more work? And so that's what I did. And so for me, it started off with a like page. And as you can see, a lot of this, the quotes and those type of things that I get on Facebook are really just things that I find with Pinterest. And so on Pinterest, I just created boards. And so I would create these boards of things that were post ideas, things that really related to what I was doing, whether it was meal plans or recipes, things about my job, anything that kind of stood out as something I believed that my audience would like. I simply pinned it. And then I would download the image so that I could share it later. The other two things that I use a lot and I encourage with my coaches is to design eye-catching images for ads or for invitations to challenge groups. And the two that I most commonly use on my desktop are called PicMonkey, and the other one is called Canva. And as you can see, some of my samples are in here of things that I have done to create images or just things that we're doing in our team page for other people, my free events. And what I like about Canva is that it keeps it for you. It holds on to it for you. And all of your all of your images are actually stored so you can edit them as well. So it has all of my uploads that I've already done, that I've already uploaded, already saved for me, so it's relatively easy to get to. And all you do is you just sort of get in there and you play around with what you want to do by adding text, adding background, adding elements. Very simple to do. I also find, let me stop this share. I also find that my phone is a really good way to really use some of my images. So I have on my phone just a portion that says photography, and on here are just some of the best apps that I use. Share all these apps with coaches so that they can learn them as well. You know, I know that I post some selfies, I post images, but what I find is the more pictures I just kind of take naturally, later I can go back to them and use them in ads. I can use them in posts that I'm doing. But I always am consistent with the type of posts that people are seeing. So people get a grasp for my personality. I'm very consistent with my workouts. I'm very consistent by using the products that I believe in. And I'm very consistent with how I put that on social media. Some of these apps like Snapseed, Instabeauty, I also use Photify. They make the images pop. They make them more eye-catching, especially if you're using Instagram or Facebook, so that your audience can really connect. It grabs their attention right away. And these edits are really easy to do. You don't need to be a professional photographer. What I find is a lot of times, simply because I use my phone, I find it really easy to do, to pick up and just spend 5 minutes editing a photo that I can really come back to later. The other thing that I do on Pinterest is I actually search for catchy titles or catchy sales or catchy phrases, or I'll search a word like girl boss or boss babe or something that I know will have catchy images for. And I think, how can I use this as a tagline? How can I use this in my post? Can I create a marketing strategy around all of that? And so for me, I just think of how those type of things can actually benefit the business and allow people to become attracted to what I have to offer. You guys, this is a learning process, but it's fun. It's fun to go onto Pinterest and think, I connect to that. Oh, that would work really, really well. And it's rewarding. It's also something that I find easy to get caught up in. And I went to get it too fast. But I keep a timer. I have this little ladybug timer that I think my son just stole. And the ladybug timer is my system for making sure that I am managing my time, making sure that I am only spending a certain amount of time on searching Pinterest or doing my images. Because I do know that running a business like this, it's easy to get sucked in. And so when you are focusing on a certain skill and a certain task and making sure that you have a time commitment attached to it, it's easy to stay on track. So today I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about social media and how I build it. It's a lot of failing. Sometimes you put stuff out there, you don't get a lot of likes. And then sometimes the strangest things really take off. But it is all about growth. It's all about learning. It's all about changing. And it's just about having fun with it. So guys, I hope those tips sort of help. Look forward to sharing more information with you as the week progresses. Have a good one.